I believe we've made the connection right now to Seymour, Indiana, and we have the hustler Rip Rogers on the line, Jimmy.
Rip, are you there?
Carla, what? You're fucking late. You're supposed to fix that goddamn washing machine and my fucking dishwasher goddamn 10:30 this fucking morning, and you didn't fucking text me or nothing. I did it 3 fucking times, you fucking asshole. And then it comes up unknown when I text you 4 times, you fucking cocksucker. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
No, Rip, it's Jim Cornette. We're not the washing machine repairman.
Oh fuck! Is it 12? Oh fuck! It's about 12, ain't it?
Yeah.
That son of a bitch was supposed to fucking be here, and if you're fucking 10 minutes fucking early, you're still late. And then the cocksucker was supposed to be here at that motherfucking time. He might as well just fucking kick me in the motherfucking balls.
And how long has the washing machine been down?
I think 12 years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Hustler Rip Rogers, Seymour, Indiana's favorite son, and I'm glad you got a new phone. I'm glad we were able to get you, and it rang and everything because you got one of those smartphones.
Oh, well, them motherfucking iPhone cocksucker motherfuckers. When the son of a bitch, if you're trying to call me, most of the time it don't even fucking ring. It goes into goddamn fucking voicemail or whatever. And of course, I can't see that son of a bitch or push the right motherfucking button or whatever. So I got a goddamn phone that's fucking useless. I can't talk to text motherfucker because I'm hillbilly and I fucking take my teeth out and then whatever it fucking prints. So I can't text because of my fucking, I can't see shit. The shit's too fucking little. And you can only say 142 fucking characters, whatever the fuck that is. And I got my fucking microscope out trying to see this something, telescope or whatever, because I'm fucking blind. I can't hear out of one fucking ear. My goddamn dick don't fucking work. And besides that, I don't know what I was on a roll. What was we talking about?
Well, and I feel for you on the phone thing because
I
see everybody in the world with one of these phones in their fucking hand, but nobody ever talks to anybody. They all just sit there and push buttons on it.
Seen it. Hey, I'm working at the fucking K, Circle K all the way, baby. All of a sudden, the fucking van comes out. 4 fucking cunts come. Young ladies come out. So all of them they got their heads in the fucking phone. 2 of them run into the goddamn door. Boom. I'm thinking it's goddamn fucking Canon camera, so I'm looking left and looking to right to see if fucking Alan Funt and Durwood Kirby's there. But I guess they wouldn't be there anyway because they're fucking, I guess they're a little bit, but they're fucking dead. But anyway, the fucking girls take the fucking bump and shit, and I'm fucking laughing my goddamn ass off. One's got a fucking bloody nose and shit. And she got all upset a bit. I said, you stupid fucking whores. Why don't you fucking talk to each other and say, hey, the fucking door's closed. And they got, I don't know why in the fuck would you have your head down to the fucking phone like you're fucking over or something? Because none of these girls was worth fucking or anything.
And plus that, when they get their head down, they can't see. You see the videos of the people walking into the fucking fountain at the goddamn shopping mall or whatever. You would think just while they're moving. Yeah, that's what makes me mad about it, because people are moving and doing it. If you'd stop, stand in a corner, get out of the fucking passagerial artery, you're a piece of human cholesterol. We're trying to walk by, and you're walking and looking on your thing. Get over in the fucking corner and stand there and do that instead of walking into shit or getting in our way. Why do they have to walk and text at the same time?
I don't know, but so far we talked about my Washington feet, the goddamn guy that didn't show up to fix the son of a bitch, a fucking iPhone. I don't even want to go into goddamn fucking computers for my false fucking teeth or nothing. And
let's talk about bad wrestling. Let's talk about bad wrestling.
Oh, just turn the goddamn TV on.
Well, you retweeted that tweet. It was last week now as we're taping this or whatever, but you retweeted that tweet, and immediately the indie strong style dive fans started getting you on Twitter because they get horrified. They get horrified when people knock a lot of this stuff that goes on these days. And we try to tell them there's several reasons, and I'll let you go into any of them you want to, but you're going to kill yourself. By the time you get a chance to make any money in this business, you're going to be so broke down nobody wants to hire you because you're a fucking liability because you've had so many injuries.
They do know, Jimmy, they do know that they would happen to get interest from WWE. You have to go through that goddamn fucking physical, like the thing up your fucking ass, checking your fucking balls, checking everything on you is going to be inspected to see if you're worth even. You could be the greatest wrestler in the world, But they're not going to invest in you because you're like a goddamn broke down fucking war horse. Jesus Christ. And you're out there taking all these fucking bumps like a goddamn fucking retard. And then worse than that, they don't sell the son of a bitches. And I'm going to work fucking strong style. Strong style, the exact thing, the exact opposite of what pro wrestling's supposed to be. Let's hit each other hard and not sell it. You're fucking retarded, and so am I for fucking doing it. Fuck you. But then again, I would always tell guys, hey, this would be a hell of a spot to get you over. Let me chop you about 30 times as hard as I can. You muscle up, and I'll sell my hand. What a fucking spot that'll be. Wow.
Is that worse, or is it worse the fact that, and I'm not talking about everybody, we're not just saying everybody under 35 can't wrestle, so just hold your goddamn phone calls and tweets on that. But in a lot of cases, the independent wrestlers that take more risks and get less money and less notoriety, they concentrate on doing these things they've seen, you've got a phrase, as seen on TV, instead of worrying about learning how to wrestle first. So you've got guys that look like they ought to still be in wrestling school or maybe never even have went, and they can't throw punches and they can't grab a headlock without tripping over each other's feet, but they're doing multiple dives out of the ring and these massive top rope maneuvers because they're trying to get over when they can't perpetrate the fundamentals to begin with, which is what all the people who are going to give them a job are looking for.
Now, Jimmy, you're right on all that. But, hey, I'm thinking when I'm 21, I'm playing basketball at Geyser Park in Seymour, and I'm fucking Dr. Goddamn J in my fucking head. And I'm going to pearl that ball. I'm going to go behind the back. I'm going to fucking float, being 5'10" and a half on that short goal, and I'm going to fucking jam, and I'm act like I'm Dr. fucking J. The same thing these guys are doing because they get to have 2 matches a month. And my parents are coming, and their girlfriends, so they got to stay strong, and get all the shit in. But this is their chance to get in a ring with people there. And if they're a bad guy, they can get booed, and they can say, fuck you, motherfucker, and who's that fat girl you're sitting with? And I hope she paid for 2 tickets because her ass is taking up 2 seats. Ha, 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 I'm a heel. But they can do all that shit and play fucking wrestling, and there's really nothing, and that's cool because they love wrestling. I ain't got nothing against that. I'm against them getting hurt because they don't fucking realize you've only got so many goddamn bumps on your bump card and then you're fucked. I got the goddamn guy in DCW, Brandon Kaplan. I put him on the first match I ever had at DCW TV because he was good. He got out of fucking Louisville, got away from us, and did that stupid flippy shit. And now he's in a goddamn fucking wheelchair about the last I don't know how many years. And drives down the street guiding it with his fucking tongue. Because doing some fucking stupid fucking moves, somebody fucking moving, and not on the same page. Why do it to begin with? But anyway, that motherfucker's fucked up forever.
Well, here, let me then say this. It in a lot of cases also, it's not the fact of what the guys are doing. It's the fact that they're doing it before they're prepared. If you don't have good fundamentals, like you said, if you don't know how to play basketball, team basketball for a major university, you can dunk on the playground, but you're not going to the NBA. If they don't learn to do things right from the ground up at a good school with teachers who actually will take a little time with them and learn how to protect themselves and their opponents and learn how for their regular shit. I hate it when a guy can do a 720-degree moonsault off the top rope and land it perfectly on an independent show, but when he punches his opponent in the face, it looks like my Aunt Lola swatting a fly. Their basic shit looks phony because they don't spend any time on it because they're trying to do the trampoline stuff.
Well, you're right on all that, and it's just like basketball. What happens is guys play to their strengths instead of taking their weakest part and making it their best strength by being a fucking nut and rep. It's like when Arnold come over, he had no fucking calves, so he cut his goddamn fucking sweatpants off, but it forced himself to do 10 sets before every day of workout and 10 afterwards. Within a year, he had the best fucking calves in the goddamn business. I'm not winking, and he didn't have a calf implant or anything like that. What I'm saying was he addressed the fucking problem with goddamn fundamentals.
And, and by the way, not only, when did you start wrestling? 79?
Late 76.
76. Okay, I'm sorry. 76. So that was 41 years ago. You worked all over the world. For the past 20 years, you've been training guys here in Louisville that I've mentioned often that one of our graduating classes was Brock Lesnar, Batista, Randy Orton, John Cena, and Shelton Benjamin. That was just one class.
Right.
Why do you think you've been all over the world? Is it just I'm young and I know that things have changed, wrestling has evolved, so I'm smarter than you are? Why do people tell us when we've done these things for 40 years and we've worked for the companies that hired at the highest level that we don't know what we're talking about?
Because they're fucking millennial. Get fucking real. No fucking responsibilities. Everything handed to them on a fucking platter. They couldn't fucking survive. Jesus Christ. This world is fucked.
All right. Well, as a matter of fact, Randy Orton weighed in after you got retweeted and started getting blasted. Randy, who you had a hand in training, he's over in Europe for WWE. Randy does have a little snide little side to him, and he tweeted a nice statement about how he was, sipping a drink somewhere after the WWE just grossed $7 million in Europe, and a lot of guys were happy to do moonsaults in a rec center in front of 200 people. And of course, then everybody got on him, including and Bubba weighed in because had a picture of him diving. And Randy was a little snotty to the young guys out there that are really trying to do things the right way. Shouldn't paint everybody with the same brush. But once again, that's what I try to explain to people is if you want to get a job with one of the big companies, I don't want to see a Starrcade 86 main event, a tryout match. I want to see that the guy has everything, all of his fundamentals are together. He moves around the ring well. He might have a tan, because tanning beds are, plentiful everywhere. He doesn't have to be huge and on steroids, but I'd like him to have been in the gym. And if he's going to play a professional athlete on TV, I want him to look like one. Buy some gear. Don't work in goddamn gym shorts or these bicycle things, or if you're a fucking grunge Rob Zombie wannabe, so you got a T-shirt and sweatpants, whatever fuck. Get some gear and boots professionally. And have a good match that showcases both guys, make yourself look good and make your opponent look good. Hit the finish we ask you to give and to do, and give us approximately the amount of time we want. And then you've got a real good chance of getting a job. But these guys go out and try to dive off the balcony because that gets them over with the fans that exist these days. But in a lot of cases, doing shit like that doesn't get them over with people that are going to get them a job, is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, remember when we was at Charlotte at the Legend thing? And we was there. There was Lance was there, and Gerald Briscoe was there, and Tom was there, and everybody. We had the
Les Thatcher.
Yeah, Les was there. All the guys. Nigel was there. Wes was there. Wes Briscoe was there.
It was an all-star. It was an all-star training camp, really.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun, and they had matches, and Jerry Briscoe basically told them, "I want to see wrestling. I don't want to see flips." And that lasted about 1 minute. And I don't want to mention any names because the one that broke the camel's back has been signed by WWE now.
Oh Lord!
But anyway, he must have done so many flips, and of course it was a 1 count, So I had to have Eric Locker go out there and do absolutely nothing except work an arm, whatever, blah blah blah, and he hit some kind of suplex, and do the finish. But anyway, in the other match with all the flips, Mr. Briscoe was sitting at ringside. I was watching him go from white, the Indian tan, a little bit darker, beat fucking red. Then it was the Popeye cartoon with the steam coming out of his goddamn ears, right? He got up and fucking ran. He was so bad. We got away from there. And I said, "You stupid motherfuckers. You got a goddamn bird dog here, and he's telling you this is what I want, A, B, C, and D. And you give him XYZ and double P or whatever. I said, how fucking stupid are you? I know you're 20 something, which you're allowed to be stupid. That's the way you're supposed to be. But Jesus Christ, if he's asking you to do just do this, because what you're doing is you're learning to take goddamn orders. I didn't want to cut you off. Fuck. But
well, no, that's the thing. And Jim Ross used to say when he was head of talent relations, if we had rules in OVW that they didn't necessarily have in the WWE, kayfabe around town, it still mattered, because if you can't follow their rules, why do I think you can follow mine? Why do I want to bring it up here and we got more riding on it? And the thing also is it's the difference between, once again, thinking you're a star in some cases and being trained or termed uncoachable, because when your coach asks you to play a different way and you don't, or don't even try to, then that gets a bad reputation on you. We're giving a clinic here for prospective wrestlers, and there's another part that it relates to the whole dive indie strong style, move after move, whatever trend is. It's a business. What would have the underneath matches actually probably have always had more wrestling on wrestling cards than the main events, because the main events was personal issues and guys with gimmicks and fighting and bleeding and settling. That's what sold the tickets. Underneath, with the channel you had to navigate in wrestling to get to the main events, you started in the first match, you worked your way up, and underneath had more wrestling. So, yes, there was more wrestling up and down the card than there was in main events for all of history in wrestling, but they weren't allowed. Nobody was allowed to hit the floor and start fighting with furniture in the second match on a 6-match card. Nobody was going to be doing multiple fucking false finishes back and forth. Nobody was going to be blowing the people away to the point where they had to go and take a piss afterwards, because it was the second match. You were supposed to go out and keep the people happy, give a good showing of everybody, and do the finish that the booker gave you. It's, by the way, Booker's directions and Booker's instructions have somehow become Booker's suggestions these days. And that was what your job was. If you went out to have the Starrcade 86 main event on the second match, the booker would fire you for leaving the rest of the card, nothing else to do. That was not your job.
Mm-hmm. That's like I was in and worked for Bill Watts right before you got there, right? And Garvin booked me in there, right, Ronnie? And he said, keep your hair dark, don't strut, don't do nothing to get over, or you'll get fired. I said, I got you. He said, your job is to put guys over. You got it? I said, great, no fucking pressure there, lovely. Don't give a rat's ass. So that was simple. But then I went over to Fuller's territory, and I had the guys in the first match, and Big Ron Fuller come back one night. He goes, Ripley, I'm not going to mention any names, but he said, where's those guys? I said, I told them to go home, Ron. Yeah. He said, I'll talk to them tonight. He goes, good, because I wasn't in very good of a mood when he could. They did. Fuck. I mean, if I was the mark, Jesus Christ, the first match was a goddamn dive. The first match, every finish hold I'd ever seen in my life was all reversed. I said, them guys said, what a match we had. I said, what a match you had. Get your shit and get the fuck out of here now. And he said, what? I said, you guys did too much. What do you mean? I said, oh, fuck, you got it. I said, get out of here now.
If you got to ask that, you ain't ready.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But it's not the guy's fault now today, because what have they grown up with the last 30 years?
Well, it's
match, it's not their fault. They just love wrestling, and all they're doing is imitating the stars, just like we did. You was Bobby Heenan, or you was a goddamn captain, or you were Freddie Blassie, or you were Jimmy Hart, or whoever you. Or
I was a little Hart and a little Heenan.
Right.
But I think there's a line that gets crossed these days when there are a lot of guys that just love wrestling and want to go out and do their best and et cetera, and they're trying to get over. And if you can't get over with the promoters, because there's no promoters paying any attention, or almost no promoters, at least you can get over with the fans because you get the cheers. I get that too. So let's try to, make everything like it's, it's our shining moment. But the problem with the recent trend is the guys will do blatantly phony shit to get pops. Or they'll the fucking 47, I don't want to mention the word super kick, but 47 times they do the same move in a match because people like it and it gets to be a thing in itself. And of course that means that nobody can ever actually win with that move again. Or, the only reason he gets a pop is because it's like the Flair chop now and everybody gets to go woo.
Yeah.
It's not like it even means anything in the match per se by itself. They either do the blatantly phony shit or overuse the stuff, or they want to break out in a dance routine. Everybody's trying to go viral on the internet and they think that's the way to get over. And that's where I think the guys have lost the love of the business and just become the love of being fucking hams in front of people. They don't care whether it reflects badly on the business, makes everybody else's shit mean less, detracts from the main events, because the things that draws big money in this country still and always has been, whether it's the UFC or pro wrestling, it's personal issues with guys that look like they can whip somebody mad at each other. That's what draws actual money.
And he looked like Dick the Bruiser with his fucking teeth out, and Mad Dog fucking Vachon, and Jackie fucking Fargo, and the goddamn fucking Sheik, and Dick Murdoch, and the goddamn list goes on. And it looked like a goddamn pretty boy. I don't even want to get into that.
or a grade schooler, and that's the problem visually to me a lot of times with wrestling these days is but people are pumped out more to appeal to the crowd who knows that this is all a friendly exhibition and wants to see the art of it, rather than the larger number of people that want to see two guys that look like they're going to kick each other's ass, that they care about kick each other's ass. And I think everybody's trying to emulate, because the first part's prettier, especially when you look like you just graduated high school, and you look like a young little daredevil, jump around a lot. But people, to be a star, you have to have people believe in you as a pro fighter of some description.
Well, my boy, so when you're talking about them young boys coming out and doing the listed, right? Oh my God. My God. Whew. Oh man. Well, you can get on this shit all the time, but you gotta remember when we was that age and the stupid shit we did, and we was just guys would fuck with us and they was ribbing us and shit. But today there's these guys, instead of imitating everybody that's in WWE, they're not looking for a new Rock. They're not looking for a new Shawn Michaels. They're not looking for a new Undertaker. They're not looking for a new Steve Austin. They want something fucking new. So when I tell everybody, I said, whatever you see out there, do something else. Jesus Christ. You're taught all these different styles and whatever, so don't do the same goddamn shit. And quit imitating Handsome Jimmy. That's my gig. Because it's going to come out different anyway when you got your personality. Cause I said, I don't think anybody's ever done anything original that I know. They've just copied somebody else from an old film from the 50s, 60s, or whatever, and they're just updating a little bit, and it's coming out the way they do it and everything. So I don't know what's right or wrong. I just think a lot of guys get discouraged, because there's fuck Jimmy. There was 800 guys in America with goddamn jobs when I broke in.
Full time, working every night.
Uh-huh. And now look, what is there? So we're looking at more people wanting to become wrestlers. The hell, nobody was sure is going to help my ass when I wanted in. I couldn't find a wrestling school, couldn't get in a wrestling school, whatever, blah blah blah. If they did, they'd have just whooped my ass anyway. And now, fuck, I bet there's 4 wrestling schools in every state. Would you say that? I mean, on the average, probably 200 in. Probably.
Yeah, well, there's probably none in Montana, but there's probably 15 in New Jersey to make up for it. So easily or more. There's more. Actually, as we found out, it's easier to make money in wrestling these days training people than it is to actually run wrestling.
Yeah.
But at the same point, then you've got the problem where sometimes the guy that was trained by the guy that worked with the guy that once saw Buddy Rogers on TV is the head trainer, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So wrestling schools are almost like the deregulation of the wrestling territory. When all the territories went away, then everybody could become a promoter if they could buy a ring. And so now the wrestling schools, everybody can become a trainer regardless whether they ever actually even wrestled on a mainstream basis or not. Because all they have to do is watch the internet and they figure out how all this shit's done. They think you can train a chimpanzee to do the moves, but you can't tell it why or when.
Mm-hmm. Right. Wow.
Brian, are you still awake?
Yes.
Or he fell asleep.
He's enjoying the Hustler Rip Rogers experience because this is the first time that you guys have ever spoke on the phone. I didn't even realize it. Brian you guys will enjoy each other because Brian is a wrestling savant and knows obscure facts, but the Ripper is the all-time, not only with wrestling trivia, but Rip, what do you cover? Baseball, basketball, any football, if it's sports trivia.
Hey, right now, can you name me the 4 members of the 400-meter relay team for the 1956 Olympic team for the United States? Go.
Dr. Mike Lano. Is that one of them?
That was a good one. Fucking Mike always wanted to do my fucking teeth, so I fucking lost him. I said, Mike, yeah, I'm ready. You can do my fucking teeth now. He said, no, I'm all fucked up now. I said, oh, shit. Can you get better for a little while? Just fix them up half-ass or something like that.
Well, that's just the kayfabe reason why he's not working on teeth, that he's all fucked up. There may be some other reasons behind that.
There's paperwork and circulating, but we won't go into that now. But Brian, from your perspective, what would you like to ask Rip Rogers about the right way to try to conduct yourself in the wrestling business as opposed to going out and putting yourself in a wheelchair first year in?
Well, for me, and I'm a bit younger than you guys, obviously. I know a lot.
How old are you, Brian?
37, Rip. And I know.
Holy shit! I wish I was 30 fucking 7. Hell, I wish I was 57. Jesus Christ!
How old are you, Rip?
37. The pride of lot. I'm 63.
Oh.
And I'm thinking 37. And when I was 37, it was 1991, and that's probably the best shape I was ever in my goddamn life. So what are you looking at right now? If you take your goddamn shirt off, if you pull your fucking pants down, which I was just wanting to know just a little bit, if you would take them down and fluff that thing a little bit, would you give yourself a B plus, a C minus, a D minus, or what in physique?
6 stars, maybe.
6 stars
on the 6-star system.
Shit. Well, hell, that's great then.
At least when it comes to pulling down my pants. The rest of me, I probably need to do some work on because I am getting old and lazy, and I got kids and a puppy, and I'm enjoying life and enjoying food for the first time in my life.
When you're 37, the very first thing you do is get those tweezers out and pull out the grays, and then closely crop the pubes to give it the illusion of length.
I like the grays. I keep the grays.
No, you got to pull them.
No.
And then, are you getting the hairs in the ear? The hairs in the ear yet? You know what I mean?
I'm obsessive about the hairs in the ears and the nose hairs. If I see them, they're gone. But the gray hair I like and I embrace.
Okay, that's great. Okay, hey, but anything, the whole thing about this working shit.
Wait a minute, Rip. I got to say one thing. And people that now he's fucking just blistering Brian here, but you regularly post on Twitter at Hustler2754. Everybody's got to follow you because it's free wrestling education. But you regularly post the picture from your gym of the most active members for the month. And am I reading this right in that when you you're number one every time, but when you have 60 down after your name, that means you actually twice a day for every day of the month was in a gym for a workout.
Yeah, the record's 72.
Holy Jesus Christ. I'm stunned. See, Brian, there you go.
Not just Jesus Christ, but holy Jesus Christ.
Holy Jesus Christ and jumping shitballs.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. Or as Billy Robinson would say, Jesus fucking Christ. But that's amazing.
Can I ask Rip one off-topic question, just because it's a unique opportunity when you can ask about a certain person where people may have personal interactions with him. Rip, what were your experiences with Chris Colt? What kind of guy was he?
Well, Chris, I met him first. I was doing, now Jimmy would probably know Don Pruitt.
I know of him. Yes, he was outlaw promoter down in Kentucky.
The winner of My Boy Blue. The winner of My Boy Blue again, right? Okay. Yeah. But Don Pruitt, he would get me booked for the Old Sheik, some outlaw shows, Nick Goulas, etc. And I met Chris Colt the first time in '77, and he used to ride with me some of my old Orange band when I was working for Ron Fuller in, I think it was the second run there. So that was in Continental. And then the sumbitch was always late. He was friendly as hell. And as like he said, I always meet new people. But the highlight of Chris, this is a good Chris Colt story, because at the end of the week, Roy Lee Welch told him he owed him money because he gave him a draw every night and he drew more than he made. So that was a good Chris Colt story.
Well, we talk about Chris Colt, and Brian does a show, 605 Super Podcast, and a lot of people online these days are telling stories about Chris Colt because he's one of those guys. His work was great when he was all there. Yeah. It was a fantastic worker. What a bumper. Well, you remember, and the big splash off the top and the shit over the top rope. Mm-hmm. But also he was in a world of bizarre people. He was one of the more bizarre people in that world. And now people love to tell stories about him. Like when he took acid in the Pacific Northwest in a cage match and thought he saw the giant spiders and started the riot getting out of the cage. Shit like that. Was he, I mean, I know there's a lot of those stories, but he couldn't have been doing shit like that every day of his life. Was he halfway normal to ride in a car with?
I mean, he would take his pills, he would drink his beer, he'd smoke his dope, and then he'd have his not heterosexual relationship. So, I mean, what the hell, right? and that was
everybody's got to have a hobby.
Yeah, that was daily,
Oh my God. Rip, is there anything, what's positive? Because people are going to say, he just gripes about things.
No,
what's
I'm not
positive about, you're one of those professional malcontents where it sounds like you're griping even when you're happy about something. Because you can find the fucking turd in the punch bowl. But, what's good about wrestling these days for the kids that are training or just starting out or whatever that actually want to do things the right way? Which direction should they go in?
Here's the thing. Look at the guys in WWE now. They're hiring, at least they're giving a chance to people before they would never even look at. And
I agree.
And that's something to think about. And when they get all these people in here, some people have a 3-month shelf life, and some people will stay in NXT for 5 years. But the thing about it is I think if you got average intelligence, average size, and you work your balls off, you're eventually going to get a goddamn shot. And when it's time for that goddamn shot, that's when you score a touchdown and you don't fucking fumble the son of a bitchin' ball. Because you know this shit, you've practiced this shit, you've dissected this shit, while everybody else is getting fucked up. You're fucking practicing promos everywhere, changing different fucking characters, different fucking languages, babyface, heel. You're practicing goddamn fucking punches. You're watching your shit on goddamn fucking YouTube. Now, here's the thing about young people, though. It don't matter if you watch something, because you know what the fuck's going on anyway. You have to have some old motherfucker there. Look, let's run this back, and this is why. Look at his footwork here. This is why we're doing it. Look at that shitty fucking tag. Goddamn, the ring's 20 feet, and they're 20. There's no fucking drama in the goddamn tag. And what's going to happen? Imagine that. 3 clotheslines, bump feed. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, I don't want to get wound up, but here's the whole thing, Jimmy. All the shit, like the way they're fucking working now, if the head honcho runs the whole world, right?
Right.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon runs everything. If he would stick his goddamn nose out there and say, hey, kids, do it this way. Don't do this stupid shit. Nobody would do it. If you want to work for me, you're going to have to learn discipline. You're going to have to learn your craft from the ground floor. And then if you prove yourself and you learn how to lose the way you're supposed to, without an ego, then you're eventually going to get a chance to win. But you need to know this business, the mental part, the physical part, the psychological part, the monetarily part, if that's even a goddamn word. But you need to soak every fucking moment of your life into this goddamn fucking business if this is your passion. If it's not, I don't give a fuck. But anyway, you need to learn to work as you would learn in a territory, how to have a first match, how to have a second match, what they've done. Don't do it yet. Go to the third match. Okay. Watts had his rules for the matches before intermission, correct?
Correct. Intermission,
correct.
You didn't fight before intermission, right? You didn't fight on the floor. There was no certain, et cetera, et cetera. Yes.
Right. But that's too much to, and people, they don't know that, but how could they? It's not their fault. All they do is imitate the stars on fucking television. They don't know that it's not really helping them. Give me a guy with not that much fucking talent, but is a fucking hard fucking worker, and he can get this. Well, what'd you say? They ain't fucking like the circus or the dogs or whatever. But you got average goddamn intelligence, average athletic ability, fucking all that shit. You can get this motherfucker. It ain't that goddamn hard.
Well, and here's one more thing. The guys in the locker room or in the car, if the guys get in the car anymore, in the locker room and in the car, stay off your phones and actually talk to each other and learn to tell stories. Because then if everybody's close athletically, the guy with the personality is going to get the chance. Not necessarily
right.
a bad personality, but a good personality. And nobody tells stories in the locker rooms anymore because they're sitting there on their fucking phone or they're scared they're going to say something or offend somebody. And it used to be, as I've said before, it was like the Algonquin round table of insult comics in the world to sit in a locker room. And everybody was, and that's, and that's how you learn to tell stories and cut promos and show somebody you're not just, once again, the personalities are the key. And it seems like guys are scared to show them or don't have them sometimes.
Well, it's hard too, Jimmy. Is the veterans of the day ain't veterans.
Yeah, because this is all they've known.
This is all they know. And then all of a sudden, hey, when you was working at goddamn territory, I told people, I said, hey, one week I worked 10 times. 2 on the television, double show Saturday, double show fucking Sunday.
That wasn't unusual, yeah.
No, and they're sitting there, and here's the indie guys. We're hoping to get. Well, hell, I'm booked full. I got 4 matches this month against some other guy that's got less experience than me. So that's okay though, because we gotta get 12 minutes in, but we got enough stuff to do. We got about 30 minutes crammed into 12. Well, that's real good, son.
Well, one of the reasons, also 10 matches a week is one of the reasons why industry-wide the guys kept themselves from going too far, because if you're doing that 10 times a fucking week, how long are you going to last?
Now remember when WWE first went big time, their TV was more up-tempo, blah, blah, blah. But you go to a Louisville house show, and them motherfuckers was working goddamn fucking entertainment, Shakespeare, Carney, Bob Armstrong. Them motherfuckers wasn't leaving their feet. It was slow motion pantomime, threatening this, threatening that. Nobody leaving their goddamn feet. I mean, they was busting their ass on television, but they get to a goddamn house show and they didn't break a goddamn sweat. They knew how to fucking work. And now guys only know that one style, and that's not a knock. We learned that from Survival. Jimmy, the first 2 weeks I'm working for Dupre in the Maritimes on a big hard fucking ring and shit, I couldn't fucking walk after 2 weeks. And then fucking Angel Ancevita, the Cuban assassin, goes, I was Hercules so hard I was over. He goes, Erica, now you better you learn to work or you go home. But Jesus Christ, I was so fucking beat up. But then again, I didn't go to wrestling school, right? So what the fuck? I had to learn all that shit from them guys carrying me. Hell, here's your first fun sunset flip. Here's your first goddamn small package. Here's your first backslide. Here's duck this, leapfrog, go behind, slide under, blah, 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 drop toe, hold arm drag, boom. I mean, everything was done and called in the goddamn ring, and there wasn't no goddamn classes. The hell, it's like, at OVW. You know, I'm teaching. You got to every week the same old shit. Over the top, going through, and then what? Some girl worked last week and she broke her wrist in 2 places, doing the same shit that we practice every day. Because you got to do it, because you're going to get hurt in this, and that's the way it is. Like Dr. Dex said, it ain't ballet. And I said, but don't make it goddamn Russian roulette either. We're trying to fucking do your fucking cool shit to get over. Because mom's there and your girlfriend, you got to get all your shit in. And you got to have 53 false finishes because the guy's going to beat him with the roll-up. But he's going to hook the tight, so it's okay.
Oh, my God. Once again, Hustler at Hustler2754 on Twitter. It's like a college course in wrestling knowledge for free there. If you can figure out to work your phone and spell things right. But we do appreciate you giving Brian a new last name on Twitter this past week. My co-host Brian Land.
Yeah, well, Jimmy, I fucking had your name spelled wrong. I spelled my name so wrong. Fuck, I ain't going back and do that shit. Because most of the time when I'm tweeting, I'm on the bike at the gym, or sometimes I'm at the fucking Weezerk at the Kize, and I got a K-Pay bet, you know.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. I agree with just about every point you guys are making about contemporary wrestling, but do you think maybe 40 years ago, a couple of veterans were driving in the car saying, these kids are doing too many drop kicks, too many leapfrogs. They're doing too many leapfrogs.
They said all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Of course they did. Of course they did. And it was fucking right.
Ole said it about the midnight in the rock and roll.
Yeah.
But I think where you reach a tipping point is, once again, still trying to frame it as a contest instead of obvious cooperation between two people to do some really just intricate shit. If you frame it like a contest, it's actually easier on your body, right? And at the same time, you know, register everything that's done so that you have your peak spots in the match where people go crazy and you take the big bumps, but then you, and take them on the ride and slow them down a little bit. It's not just bam, 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 bam. I think that's, you know, and that's still a large gray area. You know, some people said Flair and Steamboat did too much, but they did it so well you couldn't see through it. That's part of the magic. You don't know how much to do until you see what you're doing and how it's going. A great match just kind of starts getting really good. Yeah, and then you run with
it. The things that drive me crazy today, there's a few. One is when a guy's on the floor and another guy gets ready to do a moonsault or something to the floor. And yeah, it looks all right, but when you really look at it, what happened? His shin almost hit the guy's shoulder and they both fell down and nothing happened. Yeah. Or when it's a multi-person match and someone goes to the top rope to dive to the floor and all the heels and baby faces are fighting on the floor and they realize the guy's at the top rope. So it's like a group hug. Everyone just hug so we can catch him when he falls. And it looks ridiculous every time. And the one that's really starting to drive me crazy is when there's a near fall and it's a 2.5 count and the guy backs up and he gets wide-eyed and he can't believe that he didn't win the match. And it happens in just about every single match now.
Yeah, that wide-eyed arm spread fake shock. Like, oh.
Yeah.
That's, you know, and that's the thing, Rip. What do you think? It's if a spot works when it looks like something naturally happened and not like it's part of a set pattern choreographed routine.
A high spot is supposed to be reaction to your opponent, and that's it.
Exactly.
He dropped down early. Okay, I see him dropping down. I'm gonna hit. I knocked that cocksucker down to tackle last time. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to get extra momentum and knock him down again. Oh, the son of a bitch goddamn leapfrog me. Boom. I'll run even faster and knock that son of a bitch down. Oh, goddamn, the cocksucker dropped hold. Oh, I hit my chin. I rock step back, turn around. Oh, fucker arm drag. You motherfucker. God damn it, he got me. But, you know, what the fuck.
Well, and then once again, after it can't keep the same pace. And you can't keep having payoff after payoff after payoff where the guy face first into the fucking mat and hair flies and people pop and then the move on the what. You can't keep doing that at the same pace, which is why spots were meant to build to the big payoff And then everybody rolls around and thinks about it for a second. Somebody's on the heels on the floor, babyface firing the crowd up. And then they get into something else. It needs to have ebbs and flows, and I think too many people are focused on just nonstop. It's going to be a barrage of this over and over again. And the guys whose personalities, I still refuse to say the word character, but whose personalities are over with the people are the ones who, when they get slammed or backdropped or take the big bump or land on their face or whatever, and they react and sell it, that's what gets the people to blow. Oh, look at him. It's not like there's somebody we don't know just fell down. It was like, oh, that motherfucker, he finally landed on his face. That the more they're invested into the people, the more the bump means. If you don't give a shit who that, if somebody gets thrown over the top rope and lands flat of his back on a concrete floor and blood just shoots out of every orifice of his body, it would be awesome, and you'd remember it as, hey, remember that guy whose blood shot out of every orifice of his body? You don't even know his fucking name. You remember that thing happened. But if it's a fucking hot heel that you're really into and he gets backdropped over the top rope and takes a nice bump on the floor, you're like, yeah, fuck it. Because you're interested in seeing what the fuck's happening to that guy. It's the same or less bump. Hey, it gets more reaction.
You know what's funny is I always say the best match I ever saw was Buddy Rogers, Pat O'Connor. It just made so much sense. Now, Jimmy, every cover was a pinfall, except when Rogers got his foot on a rope. Wow.
And that was at that time 38,000 people in Comiskey Park for the title change in what's in 61. So that was at the time a record crowd for wrestling. And those two guys were the best. Well, I mean, everybody today imitates what Buddy Rogers started. Right. He was the fucking blonde heel, you know. Yeah. But there was that kind of interest in wrestling at that point because a variety of reasons. People didn't know for sure, whatever. But also, those were the two personalities, especially Rogers. O'Connor had been the champion. Rogers was the personality. And people remember that for 60 years now. And did anybody come off the top rope? I know it was a different time, but still, you were invested in the personality.
Nobody come off the second rope.
And
they didn't go outside.
But the people bought it as a big main event match for the time.
When Pat O'Connor put that arm, the walking arm bar where you walk around with it.
Yeah.
And Buddy Rogers sold that son of a bitch, and there wasn't no UFC or MMA. That motherfucker was selling that son of a bitch, and it looked like you was fucking ripping his goddamn shoulder out of there. And he was working that and selling that motherfucker and left and right. And I saw him fucking get in the Iggy when he put his thumb in the mouth, and I fucking started laughing. But anyway, it was just such a fucking good fucking sell. And guys weren't afraid to fucking sell. Now they're afraid they're going to look. I said, motherfucker, your push is determined by the office. It has nothing to do with trying to stay strong and shit. But the whole thing, the conversation, Jimmy, if Vince says don't do this, people will stop it. If he says, ladies and gentlemen, it's stupid, then they'll say, oh, you're right, it's stupid. This is what I want. Do this. This is what I want in my theater system. Practice your basics. Practice your fundamentals. Do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And I assure you, even though he's never told a lie in his life, but you would be welcome into the World Wrestling Entertainment. Just like when the expose with Dr. D, David Schultz and everything, how many years ago when I was working in Toledo, Ohio that night for Holy, all of a sudden, I assure you, this stuff would happen in the World Wrestling Federation. Wink, wink. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway.
All right, we will wrap it up here for now, but we want you to come back as soon as the hate mail comes in from all the things that you've said here today.
Did I say anything bad?
No, but some people are still going to not like it, I'm sure, because you know how they are. And for the kind of people who like that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing those people like.
Well, if you're in your 20s, you're fucked anyway. So what the fuck, right? Just get mad, yell, fucking scream, and be a goddamn millennial or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
and I hope that you get your dishwasher repaired as soon as possible.
I know. Well, I fucking texted son of a bitch again, and I got fucking nothing. Well, what it was his brother owns the goddamn company, so he's trying to do it on the fucking sly, see, to get that extra fucking cash money on the side. What he's trying to fucking do. And I think the fucking brother knows the son of a bitch, so he's fucking leaning on him a little bit.
I think probably Bolin could get you a good repair person to come over. He knows everybody that can fix everything.
Fucking Kenny. There ain't no fat people in the world that's alive that's Kenny's age and side. He's the only motherfucker I've known. I said, no, you can't. You got to lose weight. You're going to die. Well, look at Bolin. I said, well, fuck, I don't know what to say about that. Goddamn miracle, hallelujah, Jesus Christ. I said, fuck. I remember I got up to 232, and the doctor said, you got to lose some weight. He said, you're borderline diabetic. I said, well, I guess because I had Cokes and candy bars and coffee the last 20 years, 20 times a day. But besides that, what the fuck, right? But the fucking Kenny's a goddamn fucking freak.
He's a medical, he baffles science.
Yes. Fuck. That's fucking awesome. That could be a fucking program in itself. Goddamn, the life and times of fucking Kenny Bolin. Oh, well. Well, I didn't mean to take up more of your time. You got shit to do. I got to wait on my goddamn guy with the fucking dishwasher and the fucking washer. But I did get my fucking, got the goddamn workout in. I'll go back later again. But you got to think, Jimmy, I went into work at the K last night at 9:30, and I'm still up. So. Well,
yeah, because you did classes at OVW over the weekend, and you got the Circle K schedule, and you're working out twice a day at the gym. How do you have this much energy?
I don't know. I just thought, didn't everybody do that?
Well, I've never actually worked out twice a day at the gym, I've never actually worked out at the gym, but that's a story for another time. All right, let's once again for the hustler, Rip Rogers, Seymour, Indiana's favorite son, and Brian Land, my co-host. Yeah. This is another edition of the Jim Cornette Experience. Until next week, folks, where we'll do this all over again and hopefully even better. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Jimmy, when's this sumbitch play?